one.
Spazzy McGee, we should be live. How you doing, man? Welcome to the Late Night Crew Show. This is my Kylo Ren voice. How do you like it?
Oh, God.
We're going to do the whole talk show like this.
Yeah.
Just kidding. How's
That'd
it
be
going,
alright.
Spazzy McGee?
That'll work for me.
Yo, welcome to the Late Night Crew Show, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, man.
Long time no see, my good friend. Also, you're the guy who inspired me to do all this crazy things on stream.
Hey, dude, I appreciate it.
So tell me, Mr. Spazzy, how you been dealing with this whole COVID situation?
Oh,
Yeah.
just like everybody else.
Well, I'm
just
sorry. I mean, it's like the real, like what's going on in the real life, basically. How
yeah.
you dealing with it?
Oh, well, like I said, I mean, for me, it's not been too much of a change because, I've been doing this full time now. So, not really anything like too terribly different in terms of everything. So, but yeah, no, I think the biggest adjustment is I'm such an extrovert, and it is really, really hard for me not to be around people and interact with people. And so I think that's been the biggest thing. Is it's kind of funny how much of a treat it is to actually now just to be able to go out to a restaurant and just, even if it's just to like eat outside or whatever, whatever option they have, it's still nice to just be out and be around people and like, not feel like you're just secluded in this prison.
So true. Yeah, I agree. Well, you got a haircut though. Hey?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What was that experience like? Did you wear a mask? Is that a personal question?
Do I wear a mask?
No, when you got your haircut done, did you wear a mask? Were you like forced to wear a mask?
Oh, no. They didn't give a crap.
Like some parts of the states are like that, right? They force you to wear a mask.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, man. So
it's definitely interesting times we live in, man, for sure.
Yep, man, that's true. So you've been on a lot of talk shows, hey?
Yeah. I mean, specifically, I think the one that I've obviously been on the most is the Night Crew. I've been on a couple others, like the Captain's Table. What is another talk show that I've been on? There was another one. Man, that's gonna kill me. And it just blanked. It is this talk show that was ran by my friend Pescador, and it was we'd talk about streaming and different aspects of that. So,
have you done any talk shows for 8-Bit Dojo at all?
No, yeah, that's what it was. It was all talk shows specifically for that, but he was the host for it. Rad Gaming Podcast, that's what it was called. Rad Gaming Podcast. So, what
games do they usually work with?
They primarily they were just a podcast. It was these two guys, and so that's primarily all they did was they talked to streamers and game developers, etc., from all different backgrounds and different categories.
Maybe I should just back up a bit and like tell me what 8-Bit Dojo is. How does it differ from other things?
So the 8-Bit Dojo is a streaming community primarily. Currently, right now, we have two stream teams. One is like the starter one where we bring in people and kind of show them the ropes. And then once they've, kind of proven themselves in the community after so long, we actually bring them on to the higher up stream team, which is more business centric. And that is the Extraordinary Streamer Network, which I'm sure you've heard me mention plenty of times before. So, yeah, so there's just two partner stream teams that we kind of utilize one to kind of bring people up to the other. And yeah, it's just a really, really all around good community. I started it back when I started streaming, just with the vision of trying to kind of bring people together and build something outside of their own brand, because what we do as content creators is we have different tiers, and this is something, that you'll hear many streamers talk about, especially if you're familiar with Harris Heller on YouTube. He talks about that there are different tiers to content creation, one being Tier 1, which is developing your brand and what you do. Tier 2 is going outside of your platform that you're on, like mine's Twitch. So going outside of that platform and making content on Twitter or YouTube or Instagram, TikTok, any of those outside third parties. And then the third is building a business outside of your specific content and building it with with other people. So that's what we're trying to do with 8-bit dojos. We're trying to help everybody kind of build this group together, kind of like how the night crew is. We're trying to build a awesome community based around the Star Citizen community, and turning it into this business that we can all be proud of and be a part of. So
I don't really understand the world that you're a part of. Like, make the build. No, like building the communities. I don't get it at all. Like coming into Star Citizen, I'm really seeing this for the first time. So,
Mhm.
so I'm curious by this. So, like, tell me, like, what is the night crew then? In your just like from your perspective, you know what I mean? What is the night crew?
The night crew originally for me, like I was originally introduced to the night crew back when Matty LaRusso was originally a part of it, and can't remember some of the other OGs that were a part of it at that point in
OGs.
time. But yeah, I just remember him talking about it and being a part of it, and I was invited onto the show. I think between Matty and also Buster, and I just thought you guys were just the coolest like group of Star Citizen streamers that I've ever worked with. And so I think that for me is that out of all these serious content creators in the Star Citizen community, I feel like the night crew, they have a lot more personality, and I don't say that to be like offensive to anybody else that makes content, but I just feel like there's a lot more personality, and I feel like a lot of people in the night crew are a lot more personable as well in the Star Citizen community. And I think that's why everybody in the SC community really respects a lot of our members. And no, I think that the night crew really brings the community together in a lot of good ways, and that's why I'm really I was stoked to be asked to become a part of it, and further my position in the team. So
Technically, I would identify as a OG night crew member.
yeah, definitely are.
It would have been over 2 years. I think we started in like February or January 3.0 patch,
Mm-hmm.
and I still have no idea what it is. Honestly, I'm serious. I have no idea. I'm just here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like whatever you have, like whatever you've seen with 8-bit Dojo and ESN, then I'm sure you contribute. But like I'm learning from you, man.
Mm.
Seriously. Yeah. Whoops a daisy.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. What do you So you're doing a lot on YouTube right now. You got Citizens Alert. How do you like doing that?
So the way that I plan on having my content kind of laid out is that eventually I want to do. So my primary content is obviously the ship builds, and then we are branching off into doing Citizens Alert like once a month as like a, just kind of a one-off every month just for fun. So we're going to be filming our second one come this month. But yeah, no, the ship build videos are definitely my go-to, because I feel like that's a niche that hasn't been like fulfilled in especially on YouTube. And I just having that resource available, obviously I'm not going to be able to hit every ship every patch, but it'll at least give somebody a good starting point, you know, um, between each patch to figure out oh, well, this is the best build for this, or this is the best build for that, and they can kind of look back on how much maybe the game's changed since I made that video. And then the Citizen Alert, it is more of a, once again, it's kind of like a news slash drama slash like meme kind of hub that is a little bit different from the typical news that you would see from, say, Board Gamer or Noobifier, those kind of guys. And I kind of wanted to make a news content that was a little different from their style of news, because they do what they do so well, and it's super informative, and it gives you all the information you need. So I don't see me personally trying to fulfill that role when that role is already fulfilled, especially when that niche has already been met. So I just kind of wanted to make something a little bit extra that was different content, in that kind of little circle, which is Star Citizen News. So
Is that Do you consider that new, like your stuff, news? Because I mean, wait, that sounds really bad, but like the stuff that I was watching was more
right.
of a critique on how the community is responding to the news. That's how I saw it. right?
Right. And I think it was definitely heavily weighed on that just because of all the drama that was going on. It had something to do with Nerd Show and Tell. He
Yeah.
pad rammed somebody who kept, I guess, taking advantage of a glitch that was going on in a game, and he kept on telling them to stop and chat, and then he pad rammed some. So people, like, I guess on Reddit, just completely tried to burn the guy, which any press is good press. I mean, that was the funny thing, is
Yeah,
that
totally.
right after that little fiasco, I watched him go from 200 viewers upwards of 300 now, and I think it was because a lot of these people were wanting to jump in and give him crap,
Good for
and then
him.
he turned it into a positive thing for his
Yeah,
content. And so I
that's
wanted
dope.
to kind of I kind of wanted to cover the background of that, and just all people's like silly reactions behind the entire thing. And so that's kind of where the basis of the video began. But then on top of that, I kind of wanted to take out just some of all the complaints that happen on Spectrum, and just kind of making light of all the negativity in the community, because there's so much. And this is something we've talked on the Night Crew too, is that we can go on as people who play this game. We can go on for hours and hours and hours talking about all the things that are bad for this game. It takes a lot for somebody to talk about all the things that are good for this game. So I think taking a little bit of that negativity and kind of making it into an entertainment thing, kind of will calm people down a little bit, and go, oh, what I said on that forum, yeah, that did kind of sound kind of stupid. Maybe I am being a little too harsh on the devs. Maybe I am being, this, that, or the other. And so, just kind of hopeful. My hope with it is, once again, just making light of everything and kind of adding some comedy to Star Citizen, because I think a lot of people just take video games way too seriously, and are just extremely like over the top competitive. And so, yeah, that's my overall goal.
I laughed. I thought they were pretty funny, and I couldn't help but to read Reddit today in those voices that you made. Like
Yeah.
I was just reading through it, and all I could think in my brain was the voices that you had impersonated the comments with. So it's very real.
Yeah, no, dude, I had so many voices that I did, and people were like, next time you do those, like, make sure like you have like the text enlarged, because I want to see what you're reading. And I was like, yeah, this little feedback like that helps. But yeah, no, I freaking loved doing the.
Dear Star Citizen.
It's just like
Okay, Karen.
yeah, it's definitely the I want to talk to the
I
Robert
want to
Space
talk to the
Industries.
managers.
Yeah, the manager. I want to talk to Chris Roberts.
That was funny though. Well, that's good, man. I enjoyed it. Also, like, one thing is like people like bad news. Like all those guys that make YouTube videos that are like against everything, they get more views, they get more hits. People like the drama.
Right.
So what I like about what you're doing is like you're taking the community drama and you're profiting off of that instead, which is better because like just putting salt at the game really doesn't do much. You know what I mean?
No. And I think everybody has their way of doing their own content. I mean, you can go in the negative direction with your content, which, I think it honestly, in my personal opinion, I think going negative is a lot harder.
Really?
I think the great example of this, right, is and I'm sure everybody in the SC community will even agree with this. A great example of somebody who goes more on the negative side of this game is HC Vertigo, right? And he's always going out of his way to crap on all the glitches and stuff like that. But what a lot of people don't get is that there's a little bit of the sarcasm behind it, because guess what? He's still streaming that
Totally.
almost every time he goes live, right? And so people
Yeah.
people eat it up. People eat up the anger. So I
They
think
do.
that it's harder to still hold that that entertainment value when you're negative, and not actually like be like completely serious, versus trying to just be happy go lucky and be positive.
You know what? I watch him relatively frequently, and he's changed over time. Like, I think he
Oh,
used to
really?
be a lot more negative in the past, but I feel like he's getting tired of it, or it seems like he's getting tired of like being
Right.
negative. So I
Right.
think
Right.
you're
Right.
onto something there that it's harder to be negative at that
Mm-hmm.
rate. I don't know. It's such a bunch of weird things, I guess, when it comes to streaming.
Oh, definitely, man. There's so many different dynamics to all of it. And just recently I hit my 4 years of streaming back last month. And dude, that was, it's crazy to think that I started this off on a whim, that I saw something. I was literally browsing on my Xbox. I already had a gaming PC. I already had, a nice mic, and from doing music and stuff like that over the years, I already had all these little things in place to be able to do content creation, but I just never thought of, getting into it. I think there was little flashes here and there. I think back in like 2010, before, the big boom of YouTube happened, little thoughts of, oh, maybe I should try this out. Maybe I should do this, that, and the other. But I was so involved with making music and doing that as my main thing that it just nothing ever came of it. And then it was in 2016 that, I had gotten on my Xbox, and I had saw this Twitch app, and I remember in passing talking to some family members about content creation, and they were talking about this new platform called Twitch, and I was like, huh. Oh, you can live stream. You can do this from my Xbox. Oh, well, then I don't need to go through all this crazy setup. I'll just start live streaming. And my first stream ever was actually Dark Souls 3. And because I'm a huge fan of Dark Souls. I love all the games. I've played them all. I even attempted to actually speed run Dark Souls 3. I failed miserably. I only got about halfway through it, but it was, that was a really, really great game. But anyways, that experience that I had with that, and the capability to not only make friends, because, at my age, 29, you start to get to that point, you're out of high school, you're out of college, you don't really have all these friends available to hang out with or game with, because they've moved on with their lives, either doing, building their families, or being super, super involved with their jobs. And so there's not a lot of people that, you can hang out with from your personal life to do gaming with and stuff like that. And when I got on Twitch, I realized real quick, it was like, wow, like all these people are, they're here to game. They're here to get to know and become friends with people and build this community with people. And I just thought that concept was so cool. And I was like, man, I have this unlimited supply of people to make friends with. And so I was hooked right off the freaking get-go. I had maybe probably 3 or 4 people watching me when I was playing Dark Souls. And from there, I got my webcam, and I got a couple other little extra pieces of equipment for the stream. And yeah, I went ham after that. And so I've been at it hard ever since. But it's just kind of funny how it all start from this humble beginning, and to now it's actually my career. It's just really, really crazy to kind of see where it's all gone.
So you'd consider it career? You went full time in November. You're
Yes,
still full time
correct.
now. You're saying
Yep.
career after all that time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was wondering.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
what's it
because I
like?
mean, really, I did, and I almost accidentally clicked X on our video.
Get out of here.
I was like, I was closing out Star Citizen because it was bogging stuff down. But no, yeah, no, I had started this out because I was already doing a full-time job. Actually, a lot of people have heard that I used to work at a car dealership, so the majority of my day was taken up by that job, because I did all their digital directing. So I took photos of the vehicles, I did all their online sales
Yo, I
stuff.
did the same job.
I handled their customer relationship management programs. God, I even helped back. I was their IT guy on top of it all. I just did all this stuff, and so like this was like my side money, my side hustle that I hoped eventually would become a full time gig. And then I decided back in November, when I had lost my job, that I was going to go full fledged in this and give it a full honest try. And it's just been crazy. Like, and it's not like a lot of people think just because you go full time that you're just going to see this huge boom, or you're going to have like more viewership because you stream more, etc. And that's not necessarily the case. But to see how much more support I've gotten since I've switched on to that, where everybody's like, hey, this guy's like, this guy's doing it full time, so like we're gonna help him out a little more. So just seeing that level of support just like triple has just been really, really, really crazy. And but with any business, right,
Yeah.
it's always
Sure.
slow, steady growth. You don't want to go with the quick, easy fix. Quick cash is, is always come and go, right? You want good, steady, stable growth, and that's definitely something that I go back and I look at my viewership or my subscriptions, so on and so forth. Whatever you would find measurable for success.
Sir. Oh.
I accidentally hit my accidentally hit my thing. Oh my god.
That's the
No.
theme of this stream. That's
Sorry,
cool.
guys. I didn't mean to scare you. No. So whatever you find is like measurable success. And that I've definitely seen that over the past 4 years that I started since I've started, and it's just been really, really, really amazing.
It could just be Star Citizen. Like I have the same kind of perspective. Well, I'm much
Right.
smaller, but like just over time, I see how things change. And like if you don't want to do the low and slow method for Twitch, you have to be nerd show and tell.
Right.
That's I think the only way to do it. And man, that guy really goes. You know what I mean?
Right.
I love watching his
No,
streams.
and I
They're just so
mean,
extra.
the thing is though, is that the way he has his content set up is that it is he had all these skills, from his past that he literally threw, just like myself. Once again, being a musician, I am naturally an entertainer and know how to handle myself in that way. So he had all these background in tech and and filming and stuff like that. So I mean, he threw all that into his production of his show, and then on top of that, used all of his funds to essentially fund his stream. With all the crazy giveaways that this guy does, and give something back to the community. And he's definitely taken an interesting take on it, and it's really, really funny. It's and I always talk about this on my stream, is that the SC community is like one of the few communities that I know that if you're giving back to the community, you're going to get a lot more in return. Versus a lot of other Twitch streaming communities, that's not actually the case. It's usually people are there to mooch and don't really care about the content or anything like that. But you got a lot of these SC streamers that do giveaways, and they always see a return on it, whether it be return viewers or people who are just super appreciative for being able to get just a little bit extra for just hanging around the stream. So I think that's kind of a cool thing that's been a part of the SE community.
Well, it's like the assets are different too in Star Citizen. It's like you give somebody a spaceship, they're like, "Oh, sweet, a spaceship!" Everyone needs a spaceship, or like give accounts away or whatever, right? Like, well, I think accounts are great. Everyone should get an account, so you can never have enough accounts.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's just definitely different. Definitely different in a lot of ways. And I think it's definitely more paved in the way of a positive thing than a negative thing.
That's cool to hear. You were streaming Call of Duty earlier today, so I mean,
Right.
do you take your community with you, or do you have another community over there?
No, I don't have another community over there. So I've kind of set it in my mind, and that Monday and Wednesday, I do. Sorry, had a little bit of a hiccup there. Monday and Wednesday, we usually do our SC content, and then if something happens, like let's say the game is being laggy, glitchy, what have you, I also have a game on the back burner, which the game that's been on the back burner for me is the Space Engineers, which I've been playing quite a bit of, which has a great community that easily melds into something like Star Citizen. And then on Fridays, I've been planning on, if I don't have any other content that I have planned, I'm going to start like playing a game just that I normally wouldn't play on stream, that wouldn't have anything to do with my content. It's just something that I want to have fun with, that maybe the community would like to see me play, that would be a little different. So yeah, I don't really have a following on that side of things, but it's definitely a part of me. FPS games are a huge part of what I do. It's not the only game type that I like, but I mean, that's definitely what I've spent the most time on. That's my background. It's a big reason why I'm really, really cocky and tell everybody, that when it comes to FPS gameplay in SC, there's not very many people that can beat me out. So, and it's the same thing. Like the best FPS player, in my opinion, in the game in Star Citizen is actually Arbitrary Sketch, which not a lot of people know who he
Never
is.
heard of him. No, look him
But
up after this.
he he's actually known. He was a part of a lot of Rexzilla's, his big ops that he used to do, and he was the like star like sniper. Like he would hit people from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of meters out.
What's his name again?
Essentially where that threshold was where you could actually hit somebody with a sniper.
Arbitrary what?
Sketch.
Arbitrary sketch.
Yep. And that dude is probably one of the best FPS players in SC that I've seen outside of the people who play Star Marine, which I feel like that environment is a lot different than the persistent universe. And I think that's primarily because of desync, etc. Because there are a lot of great Star Marine players, but I think that they've figured out all the little glitches and stuff like that to use it to their advantage, and so I think once that becomes a little more stable, then it'll actually be a little more competitive in the sense versus just trying to figure out all the little tricks to get one over on somebody. But yeah, no, competitive shooters is definitely what I've come from. Halo is obviously my main one that I played a lot of. Played a crap ton of Halo over the years. Was really, really high rank. When rank became like a really, really big thing in Halo 3, I was like level 50 in like almost every like category, so from snipers to team slayer to team doubles to, so on and so forth. I was up rank 50 in all of those. And then, I've been playing that game for a super, super long time. So you'll see me switch over to that from time to time. But that's kind of where I got my love for FPS games, and it kind of, branched off from there. Obviously, much like everybody else, the first FPS game that I actually played was GoldenEye 007. But
of course, GoldenEye.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like competitive games, and I just remember Halo, like the original Xbox. Went to like a church outing or something like that, and everybody was all crowded around like 4 TVs, and they were all playing this game, and I was just like, wow, are you guys all playing together? Are you all linked up? Like, because I remember computers, you could do that. And I was like, you guys got your consoles all linked up? They're like, yeah, we're playing multiplayer against each other. And I remember that night, like I didn't focus on anything else. Like we played till like 5 or 6 in the morning, like because it was like a lock-in kind of thing. Played till 5 or 6 in the morning, just playing Halo. And like I was hooked ever since on that game. And so that's kind of where I got my love for competitive shooters. And good times, man.
That's cool. Did you grow up in Illinois?
Yeah, I grew up in Illinois. Yep. Specifically Southern Illinois, Mount Vernon area. Then actually my dad got into the Army, and I moved over there when I moved over to Kixingen, Germany for a couple of years when I was a kid. So we lived over there from when I was 6 years old up to 10. So I was there for 4 years, and then we moved back. And then, slowly, eventually, we moved up here with my family to Central Illinois, and then I got married, and the rest is history. So, yeah.
Wait a second, married? I thought she was your girlfriend.
No, yeah.
So 5 years. Very much married for 5 years. Anniversary this week, man.
Yeah. Married for 5 years. Together for 9.
Wow, so, good for you. Wow.
Yep, I started dating her back in May of 2011, which it's kind of weird, man. A lot of big things have happened for me in May. May 1st is when I also started streaming. May 1st of 2016. May 1st of 2011 is when I dated my wife. So I first dated my wife when we were officially, I guess, boyfriend and girlfriend. We were going steady, whatever, terminology you want to use there. But then I proposed to her in December of 14, and then we got married in June 5th of 2015. So,
and she's been supporting you this entire like supporting your career, kind of, or your streaming career ever since.
Yep. Definitely, just like most people, and you'll hear a lot of this from most people who are in relationships with people who do content creation. I would say that the easier ones that usually they don't have any too many problems, I guess, button heads with their spouse, whether they're not spending enough time with their family or not spending enough time with their wife, their kids, not get enough sleep for their job, what have you. I've seen it more often, work out a lot better when both of the spouses are making content, because then they both have this mutual goal to build and work together on something.
Yeah, right?
But my wife is one of those phenomenal few that she does do her own streams. She does make her
Oh,
own content and stuff like that from time to
what
time.
game does she stream?
But her big thing is art. So
Oh, okay.
she actually just recently started getting into digital art, making her own emotes and
Oh, nice.
doing stuff like that for other streamers. She's going to be streaming that soon. She loves Animal Crossing. She's a huge
Nice.
Nintendo fan. She very much prefers console games more than like PC. She loves, to be able to just sit down on the couch and dive into a game. And so,
That's a real problem. How do we overcome that problem as Star Citizen people?
yeah, that's never going to happen
Never
unless
gonna
they
happen.
port the game to console, or
Could that
they,
happen?
huh?
Could that happen?
I don't think it
You
ever
don't think
will.
so?
I think I think the thing that made me excited about Star Citizen when I first saw the Kickstarter video released for it, before I ever invested in anything like that, it was Chris Roberts getting down into that virtual cockpit and saying that this game was a PC Master Race game. And I was like, oh yeah, like this guy, like he isn't going to play around. Now, if he decides to do that in the future when the game's fully developed and, he can actually like 100% be able to port it over to consoles, then I have no problem with him deciding to go that route, because it's just going to make him more money, right? It's gonna help further this game, from years and years to come. So I don't have any problem with it, but I just want to make sure that the focus is definitely on the PC experience, so that they can easily port it over to something like that down the road.
I mean, maybe it'll just be all cloud computing anyways, and it'll just stream from a headset, a VR headset.
Hey, there you go, man.
You know,
That's all you got to do. I
problem solved.
honestly don't know how. So like VR is very, very fascinating to me. Like I can't tell you how many times I've sat there and I've had the, like for the what is it called? Something Vive.
HTC Vive.
Yeah, HTC Vive. Thank you. I can't tell you how many times I've hovered over to that add to cart button for that thing. And like it's just something that's always fascinating to me. And so big reason being is I've never actually had the opportunity to be able to utilize or be involved with any sort of VR experience, because I actually have really bad eyesight. My left eye actually grew up with a lazy eye, and so and it was actually developed around birth, which is actually apparently extremely rare from what my eye doctor has told me. But so 3D and stuff like that, it comes and goes for me. And my capability to be able to see those things. So I've always been interested to see how my eyes would react with that being on my head, and see if it was something that was either straining for me or something that was actually enjoyable, because it's just something that's always just fascinated me. But one thing I've noticed with a lot of these big AAA games, that the VR experience is nowhere near as good as the just sitting in front of the screen experience. And so I'm really hoping that SC, they can do a really, really good job. And it's kind of funny because everybody talks about Elite Dangerous having a great VR experience for a space game, and I watched somebody play it with VR the other day, and I thought I was going to be sick because their camera was shaking around, and like they're just, I was like, how like, how does this not make you sick? Like, because I'm looking at it right now and it just doesn't look very pleasing to the eye.
I was talking about that with Nerd Show and Tell, and he said it's in the streamer. The streamer has to stream a specific way to not induce vomiting on its viewers. Right. What a skill we're gonna have to develop, hey?
I guess so. Slow turning heads. I'm too much of a. I mean, there's a reason why I'm called Spaz. I'm too twitchy. I'm way too twitchy, man, to pull off a smooth VR stream or experience.
I think we're still a ways away from VR, for sure.
Yeah, definitely are still a way. I mean, I know that there's ways to obviously get around it, but yeah, it's not that great of an experience currently as it could be.
I often tout Star Citizen as a VR game, and I think it was mentioned as a VR game in a Star Citizen Live many years ago, but If you think about Star Citizen in VR is years and years and years and years and years and years away. So like that's when we should expect the future of VR. Like Ready Player One 2040, you know?
Right. Oh God. And so that was definitely a big selling point for me with this game was and I've talked to you about this multiple times on the Night Crew show too. Uh, is having that Ready Player One experience, having that next gen experience, and I think that's what they portrayed in that movie so well. Outside of all the deep, philosophical meaning behind the movie itself and the story, uh, just that experience, the to be able to just go and port into this whole other world and have to live out all these fantasies that you want to in the virtual world, and it's just really 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 cool to think that eventually that could become something that is possible.
You know what though? As the days go by and rioting and pandemics and all this stuff, like it seems inevitable.
Right.
Really, I think so.
Yeah. I think people, and I think that's the great thing that video games provide. And it's always been something that has been a great outlet for me growing up outside of, like I mentioned before, music. It's definitely always been a great outlet just to kind of escape and get myself into this whole different world and have this whole other personality and be able to explore all these different things. I think the coolest game that I ever got to experience that with was Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic. And that game, like, it was just so heavily weighed on the choices that you made. And I remember I was good throughout the entire game, like was the good guy throughout the entire game. And there was an option that said that so the Wookiee had a girl that he had grown up with in Overwatch. I can't remember the name of the girl or what the whole backstory was, but because I saved this Wookiee's life, it said in text, have the Wookiee kill the girl. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. And so I went evil from there on out, and I laughed maniacally when I did it. I just remember that just being the coolest freaking like experience that I've ever had in an MMORPG. And yeah, no, like that just I think that provided escape for everybody though, and is definitely something that we need in this world now more than ever.
Yeah, man. Sorry to like support that way of living, escapism, right?
Right.
But I
I
think it
will,
could
and
help.
I mean, think of all the negative things that people do in our society. I mean, people turn to drugs or illegal activity or all these other things. I mean, heck, I grew up in a town where the only thing to do was either go to the theater or hang out in parking lots, right? And so outside of that, what did you have to do? Well, you could go and you could party, you could get drunk, you could do drugs, you could, get involved in something illegal. And that would be those people's form of entertainment. And I never had that issue because I always had gaming. And so I think I think if that was definitely a provided outlet for everybody, and it wasn't so downplayed in our society, I think people would understand the value that it has, especially for a lot of mental healing too. For a lot of people, I'm sure you've probably looked into it or even seen things about soldiers with PTSD,
Yeah.
right? And how video games help them overcome those symptoms from that. And I think that's why most of the guys that I've met in shooter games and stuff like that they actually have veteran backgrounds, because they immerse themselves into that to kind of get over the negative experience that they you know dealt with in real life, which is that reality is so much harsher, and so it kind of takes away from all of that, and makes it a more positive experience for them so that they can kind of overcome those fears and anxieties.
It was a mind blowing experience for me when I learned that. I didn't know before, like, as a Canadian, I know so little about military and stuff like that. So just
Right.
completely naive to it, oblivious to it. And then, yeah, Dad Lando mentioned that. And I'm like, holy smokes. But you know what? Like, how long until we no longer need to call them games? Like, when can we just call them therapeutic devices or simulations or something like that? Game is such a, it's got attachments to it. You know what I mean? The word game,
Mm-hmm.
like it's optional. And I wonder, you're talking about like people who go and do crimes and stuff because they have nothing else to do. How many of those people now just do it in GTA Online?
Yeah.
Seriously. Is it,
Yep.
I don't know.
And it is so funny, because it seems like it's almost like every couple of years, like somebody has something negative to say about the gaming world, and it's just like, no, like that it prevents it more than it makes it happen. Obviously, there's people out there who their mental state is so unstable that literally anything and everything could affect them to make a poor decision, right? But that percentage of people is so ridiculously small that it just doesn't add up to anything that could be structurally considered a argument for saying that gaming is a negative thing for our world. Now granted, I do believe there is a thing called gaming addiction. I do believe that is a actual thing, because much like with anybody else, if you have any addiction problems, that heck, I mean, there were stories of people of recently I read, there was kids that were literally, they were so hooked onto their Fortnite game, or trying to get to the next level or next rank in their battle pass, etc., that they were literally just peeing their pants because they didn't want to get up from their chair and
Mm.
stop playing their video game. And so yeah, I think that there definitely needs to obviously be a healthy balance. I mean, even in Ready Player One, right? They talk about, they shut down the world at least, one day a week, so that everybody could have physical human contact and, actually have conversation with each other and have that time to be intimate with one another. And so the thing that I remember when I grew up, my mom would, she would give me 2-3 hours to game, and then she'd kick me out the door and tell me to go play outside.
I don't think
And
that would ever happen. You know that? If we had an Oasis in the future, I don't think they'd
right.
ever shut that thing down, no matter what.
Oh no, it'd be such a huge moneymaker unless you had
Totally.
somebody who is responsible, who developed that platform, right?
Have you ever seen Sword Art Online before? Do you watch
Yes.
anime?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I
Huge
think
anime fan.
I think
Yep.
that's a lot more realistic way to look. Like Ready Player One's so mainstream, but like Sword Art Online, actually Hack Sign, I think is like the precursor to Sword Art Online.
Right.
Just living in a video game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I definitely think that is definitely the more negative side to
I
it,
don't think it's
because
got to be negative though.
yeah. Well, and even in the game, he talks about how it was kind of funny. He said that the every Kirito, he talks about how the decisions that he made and the choices that he made were weighed so much more heavily because he could actually physically die in that world.
Right.
And whenever that all got pulled offline, you know, then it was almost boring to him because there was no repercussion for losing or anything like that. So I thought that was really, really interesting with all of that.
Soon TM.
Yeah.
It's like, are we living in a simulation? That's what it's all
Oh God.
about.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I the Matrix movies, right? There's the one guy, I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head. The guy that actually betrays everybody. And he wants put back into the simulation because he believes that everything in that world was so much better than the crap hole that they lived in, which was, their underground cavern that was the last, last standing society or human society, which was Zion, and he just was like, well, this is crap. Like this world that we got here, it's so much more sophisticated. So yeah, I don't know which side of the spectrum that I would be on that. I would think that it would be cool to be able to have that outlet and to be able to jump into it. But I also, once again, I also love that human contact, right? I don't think I could lock myself away in a cryo chamber and be like, all right, simulation time. Wake me up in 300 years.
Unless, of course, there's like a lethal virus outdoors that you're trying to avoid.
Oh God, don't remind me. No, I think that, yeah, definitely. I feel like I'd like to check the statistics of how big VR chat got during
Yeah.
all of this.
Well, all the headsets sold out everywhere. Hey.
Yeah. Well, headsets, joysticks. I mean, heck, you couldn't even get T16,000s up until
Wow, I didn't
here
know that.
recently. Yeah,
Wow.
they were sold out, and I was talking to Dark Law about it on his stream, and he was telling everybody, "Oh yeah, go buy T16,000." I was like, dude, they're out everywhere, and they literally just came back in stock around June 5th, I think, June 5th, June 6th. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, it's crazy to think like, how many people, I wonder how many people actually got on to VR chat and like were interacting with each other because they were they were that desperate to have some sort of communication with everybody.
And there was a meme that I was looking at a couple days ago. It was like, you've only been locked indoors for like 2 or 3 weeks, and people just go nuts. It's not
Yeah.
even like that much time, but I
Well,
mean,
for introverts, right? It's a freaking haven.
piece of
My
cake.
wife even mentioned to me, she's like, I could live this way for the rest of my life.
Yep. Dial me into the Matrix.
Yeah. She's like, nope. Like I would be so happy just to stay at home, not have to deal with anybody, and you're the only person I have to talk to outside of my family.
That's
And I
cool,
was like,
man. I'm
that's so
glad.
funny.
So she's making you a streaming outfit. Is that right?
No.
No.
Idril Frostfoot is
Idril
actually.
is.
Yes.
You want to give us a scoop on that? A little scoop?
A little scoop.
Little scoop.
It is a. Well, long story short, it's a jacket. I'll kind of keep it there. It is a very, very futuristic like looking jacket, and it'll have there will be some other accessories that'll be involved that will be really, really cool and added addition to the stream. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm literally trying to milk as much hype off of it as I possibly
Roger.
can, because it has been all of this has been in development for good 6 months to a year now, I would say. And there I don't know what happened. It was like the light bulb came on, but I finally figured out what my brand was and where I kind of wanted to push everything. I think Star Citizen kind of really, really helped that when I played it, February, when I first got into it, February of last year, back in the 3.4, Jump Town War kind of days. And so that kind of like, I'm like, man, I really, really enjoy this. I really, really enjoy sci-fi, space, all these games. And I feel like Star Citizen's a great hub for me and my community. But I feel like I can jump around to other survival and, once again, sci-fi space kind of esque sort of games and be okay. And so that's kind of where I've been pushing my brand, is more of that spectrum. I'm more on the cyberpunk side of everything. I really, really, really like that kind of whole fantasy, Matrix, Blade Runner. God, there's so friggin' many. Akira, if you want to talk anime, just all those kind of things. And I kind of want to make it into this brand that's kind of a little different from all those other brands that kind of try to do that. I feel like there's a lot of brands out there that do the synth wave, vaporwave kind of look to their content, and I kind of want to do more of the dark cyberpunk-esque kind of vibe for my stream and my community. And so I'm building all of these things. I'm trying to be as vague as possible here, as you can tell. I'm also adding ways for my viewers to be rewarded with some bit of extra content for watching. I'm giving reward for people who want to, I was talking to you about this before we started, giving a reward for people who want to subscribe or go the extra mile or donate, give bits or whatever, and provide a extra piece of content on top of the content that I'm already providing, that'll make people really, really excited, and I think that's the cool thing about, live streaming, especially versus like YouTube, is that you get to provide this extra layer. Is, heck, if I've been in this person's channel for this long and I got this many points, I'm going to redeem, this scene, that'll activate whenever I click on this button, or, oh, hey, I'm going to gift 5 subs because he's going to do this crazy dance, and so I think that little extra tidbit, you know, is so much more entertaining than YouTube in a sense, and I want to utilize that to its full potential.
That's what you got to do. You got to dance around and stuff like that. That's what Astropub does. Does a pretty good job.
Oh no,
robot dance.
just you wait, my man.
I'm
You
sure.
don't even know.
Well,
there's so many things that I'm going to be adding in. I actually have I have a Trello board,
nice.
and I have over 50 different like things that I have on that board that I need to add to my stream that will be a benefit to the viewer. So it's going to be a long ride to get that all done, but I'm hoping to have it all done here by the end of the year. But all the other little aspects that I'm talking about with the stream and stuff like that are going to be added way before that. But I'm super excited about it all.
You know, it's serious when there's a Trello board involved. So.
Oh yeah. It's just been a long time coming. I didn't really know what it was a mixture between two things. I didn't really know what my brand was, and I involved myself so heavily. And this isn't a bad thing. Once again, I think it was just the way that I did it. I involved myself so heavily in helping other people's brands grow and building their content and their streams, and I focused less on my own. Well, the bad part is I wasted a good couple years starting out, investing my time into people who weren't, you know, mutually investing their time into me as well, and trying to help build me up and what I'm trying to do. And so I feel like I lost a lot of time, you know, in the midst of all of that. And so now that I've been kind of, you know, being a little more selfish in a way, I guess would be the best way to put it. Selfish to be selfless, right? I feel like now that I've built my brand up, I can now, you know, utilize any hype that is brought off of that to put back into the community, to raid into other people, to help them build up their content and stuff like that. Now that I have something to be confident with, right? And so yeah, I'm just really excited to now finally have a face to my content, and I'm really excited to show it off.
And you're gonna have a jacket as well.
Yeah.
You know, I am a big fan of jackets. If you're unaware,
Yeah.
You're aware of that. So
no way. No, I didn't realize. No, I freaking love your whole outfit, man. It's.
So you gave me a little scoop, and like, how much for a jacket? Can we? You know, are you gonna start selling these bad boys? Like, let's talk.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that definitely could be a thing. I think Idril would kill me.
You think so? Well, I mean, like, what if we all
I'll tell you how much I invested in the material loan. The material loan without her Joann's Fabric discount was close to about $300 to $400. The material loan for the jacket. Luckily, because of all our discounts, etc., I think it was a little over $150. Something like that, but MSRP, you know, retail, what have you, it was close to like $400 because they rang it up and I about had a heart attack, and I was like, I'm taking some crap back, and they were like, and she's like slammed all these like coupons. She's like, I'm the Joann's Fabric master, and I was like, oh my god. And so we had like a ridiculous like percentage off that she got for me, but yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to see it, because it's something that's definitely different looking from all the other little jackets and stuff like that.
Well,
I think it is going to be the closest thing to something you would find in Star Citizen.
Yeah. I was actually talking to one of my viewers about that as well. I'm hoping to get an actual Star Citizen jacket one of these days. So it's a soon TM thing.
Yes. Well, I think, you know, what was really cool is that they came out with that bomber jacket.
Oh, nice. Like, that's sweet. So you're going to get? That's why it's so expensive, because it's leather, right?
Yeah, no, I want one of the. No, I was talking about the Star Citizen bomber jacket that they released. Yeah, I want one so bad. But I was talking about it in game, you know, and I was like, man, like, it'd be really cool if they had this Navy jacket, you know, as a actual thing that you could get and buy as a physical thing.
I'm so surprised.
And I think they started realizing that people freaking wanted a physical version of whatever they had in the game, and I'm sure they sold those Drake t-shirts like hotcakes. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that they sold those Drake interplanetary like t-shirts like crazy.
Having a Drake planetary t-shirt is like having an Adidas t-shirt. It's just like everyone's
Right.
got one, you know?
Yeah, right. Oh, there's so many people that hate Drake, but if you're a Drake lover, like you are a Drake lover
I've
through and
never
through.
met a person who hates Drake. Everyone's like, "Oh, all of those Drake owner or all the hate on Drake." I don't get it, but I've never actually met a person who hates Drake.
Oh, I've met plenty of them.
Really? Send them to my
Yeah.
stream. I have words for them, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I freaking love it. I think Drake's the coolest, definitely, out of all the other shipping brands for sure. Ship brands, not shipping brands.
There's probably more Drake ships, I think, that are flyable now than any other ship.
Yeah, I would have to say that myself. Yeah, I definitely I've been in love with my Caterpillar just about as much as you have been.
Yeah, man. No, we both love our cats.
Yeah. So I definitely love that ship, and I think obviously the Cutlass coming out with all its variants, it's definitely reinvigorated my love for Drake.
I'm gonna. I plan on like whenever I get into RP story and stuff like that. I tend to take the cat with me. You know, I want it to be a part of my character story, so I plan to have the whole cat through my entire career. I think. What about you? Do you think you're gonna go? Sorry.
So what I'm seeing is that you're gonna have a paint job on your cat that's gonna be like all white Caterpillar with like gold trim.
No, orange. It's gonna be orange all the way. It's always gonna be
Oh,
an orange
really?
cat. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Orange fluffy cat. That's what it's supposed to be.
Oh, okay. What were you gonna ask though?
Do you plan on sticking with that cat too, your cat, or are you gonna upgrade it, you think, to something else?
No, I'll definitely keep my I will definitely keep my Caterpillar Pirate. That's definitely going to be a ship that I will probably always have.
You got the pirate too. That's pretty badass.
Oh, dude, I freaking love that thing. I also have an LTI. I got lucky and found somebody who sent me that
That's good.
over the gray market. Yeah, so I got really lucky because I know that they're not available for you to be able to get outside of getting the package from the Pirate Swarm. So
also, I should probably say, Hindrosa, thank you for that raid. 25 people coming in. How you guys doing tonight? This is the Late Night Crew show, and I'm talking with Spazzy McGee here.
Hindrosa going late, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Going real late. Look
he
at
had a good
Look
stream.
at him go.
We were just talking about Spazzy's potential jacket for the future.
Oh yeah,
he's giving us a scoop.
So there's definitely as far as merchandise goes for my stream, there's definitely going to be there's definitely going to be some cool stuff. I have this passion. I have a passion for a lot of like fashion and graphic design and everything. I going throughout high school and growing up, I always tried to dress different, and so all my merchandise and everything like that, I want to make sure that it looks really clean and simplistic and just has this nice like something that you would actually wear out in public versus, oh, this is my night shirt that I'm going to wear to bed. It's something that you can be proud to wear out in public. So I'm going to make some really cool, like looking merchandise, and then have like some patches and stickers and things that people will be stoked to like, utilize versus once again, hiding it away.
I like merchandise. I think merchandise is like a fun thing to do.
Right.
Board Gamer doesn't particularly enjoy merchandise too much. I don't think he'd mentioned it's not a high priority for him, but that's like my top thing.
Which is super surprising because he's got such an easy brand to work with. I mean, his whole little smiley face thing that he's got going, right?
But you know what? Like, you only have so many hours in the day, and he chooses to put his time somewhere else. He's clearly doing a good job.
Yeah, no, definitely. But even it cracks me up because even he mentions, that he thinks that his content is lazy because he puts B-roll, he puts up B-roll from Cloud Imperium or his own personal B-roll, and then he just talks over it,
Totally.
But I'm like, dude, it's freaking ingenious because those are all free assets available to you, and you just friggin' you took all the news that was given to you and you made a easy video to watch. And I think a lot of content creators obviously do that, but I think he does it very, very well for what he has. But yeah, it takes even then, it takes a lot of freaking time, and it takes a lot of time to make I feel like my personality is so much different on YouTube than it is on Twitch because I can be a lot more scripted and a lot more professional in how I present myself. And so yeah, it's like all just the way that you talk and how your speech is during a video like makes all the difference. And I've found myself like, going back and re-recording something because a certain word I said was wrong or not, didn't have this weight to it that I wanted it to have. So I would go back and I'd re-record that section. So yeah, I'm sure the dude freaking puts in a lot of work because I couldn't imagine like just all of the information that dude has to pack into his head that he has to dig and find, because I think that's the hardest part about doing what he does is digging through all of the news and getting it out there before anybody else does.
Did you see what Disco Lando said in chat?
Uh-uh.
It says the real trick is getting them to pay you for making Star Citizen videos.
Yes, yes, that is the real trick. How you doing, Disco? It's good to see you, buddy.
That's funny. Well, you know what? You got 3 videos on YouTube right now, 366 subscribers. I think that's pretty good, man.
Yeah, starting out, I mean, it's definitely humble beginnings. As they pick up, like my last video, I about had a heart attack. It almost hit 1,000 views
That's
for the
awesome.
Prowler ship build video. So yeah, I'm gonna friggin' die, dude, when I get that first 1,000 views on a video. I'm really, really excited about that because I feel like, so once you start branching out into the 1,000 to 2,000, upwards of 10,000 viewers on your YouTube channel, you're getting a lot more offline eyes, which is really, really good because there's not any discoverability on Twitch as a platform. Uh, so you're getting all of those eyes that you normally wouldn't get, outside of your streaming. So, oh, well, this person's not streaming, but I can go and I can watch a YouTube video. And so bringing all those people over from YouTube is going to be really, really, really great for my content. And once again, I get to feed it back into all the people that I love and support in the community. So it's definitely win-win.
Disco says something interesting here. He says the thing you have to watch out for when trying to be the fastest or the first is sacrificing accuracy of information.
Yep.
I think Board Gamer suffers from that. Like sometimes he'll talk about things and it's just like it's ahead of the curve and maybe there's some theory craft associated with it and he loses accuracy. And I think that he gets flamed sometimes from the comments from that.
But yeah, when you got an early access game though too, I mean, I think a lot of content creators they like to profit off of hype. I think that is our biggest thing, and that is the best word to utilize it for is hype, right?
Yeah.
And so they'll, once again, like you said, they'll sometimes theorize, what's going to be happening with the development of the game. Some will even go as far as digging deep into the game files to find these small little leaks and hopefully try to find some measure of truth in whatever that leak is, going as far as to dig into social media and the way that people talk and interact with people on social media as little cues to what's happening with the game's development. So yeah, I think it works for both parties in that sense though too, because then for instance, if Board Gamer mentions something that's coming to the game and it just so happens to be accurate, guess what? Now we're even more hyped than what we already were, and they get to profit off of that hype. And if it falls through, then nobody wins.
Yeah, it's true. Disco says I can count on 100 hands how many times I read on Reddit that someone in one of my videos said this or that when they absolutely did not. And we come to find out it's because the poster heard in it recap videos that was rushed out to be first. Yeah.
Yep. I think my favorite one, I can't remember what ship it was, is everybody took from the, some of the people from the dev team, they took a photo, and on the whiteboard behind them, they had a ship wrote down that was going to be coming out, for, as like a pre-purchase ship. Can you remember the name of which one was it? It was the tiny ship with the giant gun on the back that they just recently.
The Ares? Crusader?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, the Ares.
So
Yeah,
Or
that
just
was
because
my
it's super
favorite. It
fun?
was like they literally went so far into reading that, and I don't know. Still to this day, Disco. I don't know whether or not that was on purpose. If it was on purpose, that was freaking genius.
Are you talking about the fourth wall, like them about the shoot, that
There's
was
the
the
picture
Argo.
of all of them standing around, like they're all excited about something. I can't remember exactly what the context was behind the picture, but there was a whiteboard behind them,
Yeah,
and they had Aries written on the
that
board.
was the
Like,
Argo mole. I think that was. That
was
was
it the
the.
mall?
It was during the holiday season because we didn't know about the mole. They made the mole in secret, and they're
I
like,
don't think.
"Hey, Merry Christmas! We made this new ship, and you guys are gonna fly it around."
Yeah, I don't think it was the mole though.
The
I
the
think it was
Ares
the
was a
Aries.
concept ship, but the mole
Yeah,
went
I know it
straight to
was a concept.
flyable.
Yep.
The mole went straight to flyable. Nobody knew about it, and it was written on the wall.
Yeah, I
That's
have no
what
idea. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah,
Xylo went on the yacht
he
club chat, and he said that they were breaking, or they went through the fourth wall, or he exposed the fourth wall. And I'm like, man, that's so messed up, but it's so true.
yeah,
And it makes you wonder, like, how much other stuff is like that too.
right.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah. No, but it's definitely clever. I definitely like, come from my professional background in marketing and stuff like that. It's I love seeing creative things like that, creative ways to make hype within a community, and especially a games community, right? Because everybody's always excited about that next new feature, that next new thing. And so um, yeah, it's just really, really, really cool to see them utilizing those little things. And the cool thing about that I love about Cloud Imperium and everybody that's working over there, um, especially just every freaking branch of Cloud Imperium, is that they are some of the most down to earth like people that I've ever seen in game development, and it's just really, really cool to see. And I think Disco Lando, I'm going to kind of brag on you here a little bit. I think you are a great face for the company in
Totally, he
that
is the
sense as
face of the
well.
company, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is a great face to all of that, because he goes out of his way to give everybody these little bits of excitement. I remember when he was somebody took a video of him at I think it was one of the Bar Citizens or something, and it was directed towards Buster, right? And like that just made her entire life, and so much to the point that like she had somebody, I can't remember if somebody made the song for her or whatever for her stream, but like my wife was sitting there watching her stream, and she's like, who is that? And I said, well, that's Disco Lando. I said, Buster's like got like a thing for him, and like he did like this little video for her, and now I guess she has a song about it or something. So, but yeah, just those little bits just giving back to the community it's just really, really cool. And I think that Cloud Imperium definitely does that more than a lot of other companies.
Well, one thing I learned just about going to CitizenCon is, like, it would appear as though the devs and the staff at CIG are actually fans of us. It's like there's
Yeah,
this whole, like, mirror effect that's going on or something. So
yeah, it's really, really, really freaking cool.
I wonder if other games are like that too, though. Like, is Elite Dangerous like that? Is Eve like that?
No.
No.
Not a lot of those games are like that. No, definitely not. And I think that's a big reason why I invested into this game. And I think, why everybody there at Cloud Imperium, I mean, I got a friend who works over there, and he said it's just really, really cool because, they're all fans of the game as well. That's why a lot of them came on board to work with them, is they're all fans of the game as well. So they're just as passionate as we are about the game. And so I just think it's just different. There's just something about it. It's just maybe it's because they're making this game that is just so much more next level than a lot of the games that are out there right now that are AAA titles. It's just a different experience through and through. And I think it is like the SpaceX of video games.
I'm so glad you said that, because I feel like if I
Yeah.
would have said that, it would have been just, it wouldn't have meant anything. So thank you for admitting that. I like to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Disco Lando. Ladies and gentlemen, Disco Lando.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good work on everything, dude. You're a heck of a good streamer. You're like full time, 11,000 views on Twitch.
11,000 followers.
Followers, sorry.
Couple 100,000 views total, but I can't I can't remember the exact number on that one, but yeah, 11,000. We're actually going to be celebrating that here at the end of the month because I didn't even know I hit it. I just somebody had mentioned it like in my stream one day, and I was just like, "Holy crap! Like really?" And that's really all in all that attributes to is the fact that I've been on the platform for 4 years now, and but it's just really cool to think I got 11,000 people at one point stopped into my stream and checked my content out. Like, that's so freaking cool.
Well, I think it's a heck of a risk to go full time. I think about that as well, but
and here's the thing though, right? Is that any business venture is a risk. I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, and SC is another once again, I guess is a great example of that. Is everybody took a risk with Chris in putting together this game, and here they are. They just had their most successful month. What was it? Last month they had their most successful month and ever. Am I correct on that?
I thought it was the most. Well, it's as far as sales goes, I think it was the highest they've achieved in gross sales. I could bring up
Yeah.
the spreadsheet if you'd like. Would you like that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was something pretty close to that. But I mean, everybody took a risk on this, this dream, right? And
Yeah.
so I think that's what if you believe in something enough and you have the drive and the push to make it into something, then you can achieve it. Some people they make their own luck, and they somehow figure out a way to hit whatever achievable goal of success that there is out there within a year to within maybe even a couple months. I've seen some streamers come onto the platform and they just got it. They have that it factor, and they're freaking partnered within 6 months, and they got all these sponsorship deals and all this growth and everything like that. And then I've seen people who fought tooth and nail, and it's taken them a good 6 to 7 years to grow their brand. And I think that's the same obviously with any other business out there. Is sometimes you just have to take a risk for the things that you're passionate for.
Can I just
And
add on to that and say how cool it is? Because like at least in Star Citizen, we're seeing generations of streamers. Like I don't know.
that's crazy. Yeah,
It's true. 4 years ago, there was like I don't know, like DJ Knight was big, and like Disco used to be a streamer, and then we get
right.
Next Generation, Sergeant Tickles, and like oh Mitashi, those guys. And now we have
Yeah.
these guys, and you know what I saw like Matty LaRusso and TV Liquid, and a couple other guys who I didn't recognize, and I'm like, man, this is like the next generation of streamers here. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like the next group of Space Bros. Well, and I mean that with as much respect as possible.
Yeah,
It's
for
just,
real though. Yeah. No, that is kind of weird that's Star Citizen's definitely got a different community in that sense, because there are a lot of people. It's like they're like, all right, like I feel like I've gotten to where I can with the growth of this game and its community, and like I'm still going to stop by whenever they release a major patch and stuff like that, but I'm going to kind of open this market up to the rest of the community. And so then this new group of people come in and they're successful with it, and it just so on and so forth. And I just it's really funny to see. But I was just thinking back, I mean, it's only been a year ago, if we're just talking Twitch statistics alone, right? It was only a year ago that we were lucky to hit 1,000 viewers on Twitch, right, in total for Star Citizen. Like, and that was usually when somebody like Rexzilla was on, or a bigger streamer was on. But now to consistently see that we're anywhere between 2,000 and 5,000 viewers, like for Star Citizen as far as a Twitch listing goes, because to that sort of growth, I mean, that's going to make the game even so much bigger, because when it's up higher on that listing on the browser, then more people are now going to be stopping in and checking out this game, because they're going through the Twitch list and going, huh, hey, what's this game? I've never heard about this before. And then they click on it, and they check it out, and then they go and buy it, etc. So it's just really crazy to see how much this game's grown over the last year, and to see it's just huge strides that it's made. I'm so glad that I got on when I did.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that was the Kickstarter to just a lot of big development things. The roadmap, is progressively getting more and more accurate. They're over delivering versus under delivering on all their stuff. it's just been really, really cool to kind of see all of its growth, pushing for, towards the Squadron 42 update, and which once that's project's finally done, then all the attention can be brought on the persistent universe, and that's going to be even more so finished quicker. It's just really, really cool to see where it's all went.
So I'd like to just kind of change it or go to a different gear here.
Right.
Because Spazzy, I look at you like a close friend, really, because we've played together, and that means camaraderie. Let me
Right.
ask you: do you believe in aliens, extraterrestrials?
Ugh.
Yeah.
we can get super it depends on what angle you want to take on it, right?
Every
We can either
angle.
get we can get philosophical on it, we can get religious about it.
Religious.
Believe it or not, believe it or not, there's actual stuff where people have like religious beliefs that aliens are a part of something bigger in the world.
What
And
about
so
political? Can there be political beliefs on aliens as well?
oh, I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm
man.
sure. I mean, yeah, definitely. You kidding me, dude? Yeah. I mean, Nevada alone, those, I mean, God, those people like that is their, politics right there. What aliens are we're keeping away from society, man?
Did I ever tell you that I went to Area 51?
No.
Okay, so I went to Area 51. It's a heck of a thrill. I highly recommend it for anybody who's crazy. It's great. But we're talking.
What, you just go to the gate? Or
Well,
was that a joke? And it flew right over my head.
No, man, I'm being serious. I'm honestly, I try not to be a sarcastic person. Everyone says I'm super sarcastic, but no, I'm just this weird. Yeah. No, but no, I went to there's two entrances of Area 51 apparently.
Right.
So there's the back gate, which is close to Rachel, and then there's the front gate, which is, I don't know, it's like 20 kilometers around winding roads and mountain and stuff like that. Looks like Tatooine. But no, I went to the back door because it's close, it's easy to get to, and then I rented a Mustang, so Mustang convertible. So I drove inside of like the no drive area, drove in really quick, jumped out of the car, took a selfie, jumped back in, and got out of there. And I was checking my rearview mirror, and there's actually what would you call that? An interceptor, like a car coming to intercept me. So that didn't work. So then I turned around and I tried the other entrance, and I probably got 3/4 of the way to the next entrance, but they stopped me, so I had to just turn around and leave. So
I don't know where I'm at, guys.
basically, I'm just a Canadian, and I'm like, man, I don't want to have to I had a flight actually in like 4 hours of that, so I had to immediately go right to the airport. And like, man, I don't want to get like something on my passport that says this dude tried to break into a U.S. base or something like that.
Right.
Anyways, those are the kind of aliens I was talking about. What do you think? Do you think there's alien life out there? Star Citizener?
No.
No life
but,
at all.
but once again, I feel like that would make, so for me, so I come from a very, very Christian background, I guess would be the best way to put it. So that's what all my background is kind of based on and everything like that. So I feel like anything extraterrestrial would definitely, it would overcomplicate our world, and I don't think people understand like how much it would overcomplicate it, because you got to think about it. If they that would shatter society.
Yeah,
it would. I mean, it really would. It
is.
would shatter society. And I mean, even if it were a real thing, and I mean, it could very well be, for all I know, because I mean, now we're starting to do discovery and all these other things. We could find other living things out there in the universe. I mean, because there are multiple universes out there. That's how big, like, that's how small we are in comparison to all these other things. So yeah, there's no telling. But yeah, that would shatter our existence, man, because then that would mean that all of these beliefs in things that we thought were the makeup of our being, right, would just be completely thrown to the wayside, because now we have this other species that is intelligent. I think the greatest way of kind of expressing that is the oh man, what was the name of the Alien movie? The reboot that they did.
There's so many alien movies. I'm sorry. Are you talking about like Prometheus?
Thank you,
Oh.
Prometheus. That is the best example that I could think of how humanity would react. Ridley Scott, like he like took that and freaking like really with the prequels, right? He did such a great job. And when she found out that humanity was created almost as a mistake, right? I can't remember exactly how they put it, but they were trying to destroy their creation. That's why they created that alien, is they were trying to destroy humanity. And so they were like our gods. And so like, you know, it just completely blew their mind entirely. And then it was like, oh, well, this thing that's my god is also now trying to kill me. So yeah, it was just like, that was such a cool take on the whole you know, study of like extraterrestrials.
Is it too personal of a question to ask somebody, you think? Like, if I was in my stream, is it, you know, you're not supposed to talk about like politics,
Right.
religion, all that other stuff. Maybe we should add aliens on there.
Yeah, there you go. It's too deep, man.
This is a lot about a person, though, you know? Like
we're diving in too deep.
Well, that's what I mean. I would only ask this with you because I feel more comfortable, you know.
Right.
into it.
I honestly, I don't have any qualms with that question at all, because I mean, really, it's all theory until it's made, you know, until there's proof, right? And then when there's proof, it's like, oh God.
What kind of proof would you need? What would you need to see, or touch, or taste?
I mean, you would obviously just need proof of the being itself, right? Everybody asks for instance, everybody asks for proof of the Bible, or things that have happened in the Bible, or so on and so forth. And there's so many things that back it up and are historically accurate for how certain things went down. And I don't want to get too deep into that, because I feel like that is obviously treading on some religious feet, etc. But I mean, I think people definitely do look for that physical proof. I mean, I think that is just how we are as human beings, or, you know, is that we have to see it to believe it.
So you just have to see an alien. You have to see a biological entity.
Dude, I want to see it, man.
But like, you want to see it on Reddit, or do you want to see it in person? Do you want it to be in front of you?
I think if a reputable news source covered it, I'd be happy with that.
Really? We're talking about 2020 here. What's a reputable news source?
Good point. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if that was thrown out there. I would be like, okay, this is turning out to be one heck of a 2020, man. We got aliens and all sorts of stuff.
It's kind of that way, because I think it was a couple months ago, the U.S. Pentagon announced or said that these leaked videos that happened of these UFOs or whatever, they leaked in 2007, and they just came back saying, "Oh, you're right. We don't know what these are." So, you know, they think there is proof out there. That's 2020, and for some reason, you know, aliens come into subject in 2020. So.
Oh my God.
Yo, you know what I was thinking yesterday is that I think that in the future, streamers will have access to making deepfakes on their streams, like deepfakes live.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on that. It's already caused so much inaccurate data, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously there's people who are now utilizing the first thing. What did you think here? I'll even ask you this question. When deepfakes come to mind, what did you think that people use that for first?
Probably like security, like someone's, you know, they're looking for a terrorist or something like that, and they go through all of the video footage, the whole nation, the whole world or something, and then they try and find somebody, a terrorist. Hopefully.
I think it was utilized more in pornography.
Tell me more. Tell me more about that. Yeah, I can't imagine how that would work.
No, because I mean, you saw all these celebrities that were actually like complaining because there were all these quote unquote like tapes that came out about him, and they were just deep fakes. Like they were really, really good deep fakes. Like, you know, the amount of time that it goes into to make those, like computing wise, just to film, like, I think like a 3 minute segment takes almost 2 days. And that's on like a high end computer with like 64 gigs of data, like 2 or 3 freaking graphics cards in them. Like 2 to 3 days on a freaking high end computer to compute all of that information. So to do that and put it on there, yeah, it just cracks me up. But yeah, no, like, yeah, I think that that's where the most of the energy was put. But yeah, you could go even deeper as far as to say that you could go and change video footage, and you could even frame people for things with those videos. I mean, there's so many negative things that could come from that technology. Um, I think it would honestly even go to as far as outweighing the positive.
I can't think of many positives, to be honest, except for like an OBS plugin. This is the most positive I
Well,
could get
the
with this
cool thing that a
technology.
lot of people were discovering with it was the capability of being able to bring certain entertainment, people back to life, right? There's actually a Snoop Dogg music video, and he actually brought back Tupac
Oh yeah.
with a deep fake. And so I thought that was really, really freaking cool. And so they put together, from one of, obviously Tupac is still alive, let's be honest, but they had this music that they had playing, and it was him rapping. And I guess they pulled it from an old thing that never got released. And so then they deep faked it, his mouth movements and everything like that, from a guy who was an actual Tupac impersonator. And so yeah, that I thought that was really, really cool. So they can make stuff like that happen. I think
Did you see the Princess Leia one?
no, I have not.
That's a good one. They took the last scene from Rebellion, Rogue One, right,
Okay.
with Leia, because that was like a CGI Leia or
Right.
Carrie Fisher.
Right.
So they took that CGI one and applied a deepfake to it. It is awesome. Like
Wow.
you never think that the CGI is that bad until you see the deepfake, and it's like it's like AI officially knows humanity better than we do.
It's definitely crazy. And did you see the what was his name? Tony, I want to say Tony Robbins. Give me a second. I'm gonna double check this. Yeah, Tony Robbins, and this showed up on my YouTube feed, and I was like, oh God, here it comes. We're gonna have freaking Terminators on our doorstep before too long. But Tony Robbins actually interviewed a AI a cyborg, sorry, is the best way to put it. But yeah, it was an actual full human cyborg, and he was interviewing it, and it was intelligent.
Wow.
It was obviously programmed to to answer to certain questions and responses, etc. But it was super creepy because they had it to where it had hand gestures and like was actually talking. It was creepy.
Well, we I just because of like my full-time job, I get exposed to like lots of e-commerce and stuff like that. And adult dolls are a very popular item.
We had this discussion, I think, one day when
All
we were
right,
streaming
yeah. So
together.
they're robotic now. They make robotic ones, and they're so damn popular,
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like what
yeah,
you were
yeah.
saying before about porn is driving the the deep fake technology.
Well, some actually, once again, some people actually attribute pornography to the growth of the internet.
I totally believe that. I mean, hey, like,
Yeah,
look at video streaming, man. Like, we have to thank all of our video streaming tech, thanks to, you know what?
probably
So,
to pornography.
100%. Like, you can you can do a search for anything out there you possibly need,
Yeah, definitely, dude. It's really, really it's definitely interesting to kind of look back on all that. Yeah. Oh my God.
So, coming back to aliens.
Yeah.
Well, like, the whole reason I brought up aliens is because Star Citizen, that was the theme for the weekend. We're in alien
Right.
sale now. So that's what I was actually coming to. Do you believe in aliens? Spazzy says no. Judgment follows.
I'm gonna get people to unfollow me for that, right?
Yeah. Do you own alien ships? Any?
Yeah. In Star Citizen, yeah. I'm actually thinking about melting stuff for the Merchant Man. So just because I want it, it's not out yet, but I want it because that to me is like that is the alien ship, man. Like that thing is top tier.
I guess it's a pretty good thing to buy right now though, because you get a cat for it, and you also get a defender. So
Right.
you buy it, you get 2 ships
I
at
don't
once.
know. There's just something. There's just something about the Merchant Man that it's just got this very Ridley Scott vibe to it, man.
Totally, yeah.
That's actually a big reason why I bought the Prowler. I mean, I freaking loved the Valk, right? Like that was my ship. But when I saw the art for the Prowler, I was like, when that ship comes out, I'm getting it. I'm throwing that Valk to the wayside, man. I'm getting that ship. And every time I get in that ship, I'm just like, I'm just like, here it is. I get so excited, man. And then if I fly that through ArtCorp, I'm just totally geeking out. It's so good.
Did you get a chance to watch the ISC yesterday? Is that what it's called?
Oh, the Alien one, or
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything? I don't know. So they talk a bit about what do they talk about here? I'm just bringing this up. The space cows,
Space
bears.
cows with their egg nipples that we're
That's weird.
so
huh?
excited about
So weird.
and not somewhat terrified about.
Totally terrified. It's so creepy.
Well, because I'm afraid
Yeah.
that they're gonna drop those eggs and little xenomorphs are gonna come out of
You know
them.
they are. They have no discretion when it comes to that. They fully intend to scare the pants out of us. Like the moment when
Yeah.
Xylo is hiding in a cave just to scream at people in the darkness.
Yeah, I hate him so much. He does crap like that all the time, dude.
I know.
All the time. And it was kind of funny because he was doing that to some of the bigger streamers. And when I was there for a while, when I was hitting that bigger viewership mark, he was doing it to me among our crew as well. And I hated that crap. Like it scared the crap out of us. But yeah, the whole cave screaming was top tier.
Yeah. Did you say crab or crap before? You said hate that crap. Crap or crab?
Crap.
Crap.
Yeah.
Because I just want to bring up a image of the crab, the space crab here. So this is
Right.
the space crab. I think it's the space crab, something like that. Anyways, discussed in this
No.
week's ISC. Pretty
No.
scary.
So I was actually talking about this on stream today. I said, if they do put these assets into the game already, there's obviously going to be server side issues and stuff that we've already dealt with, and then having all these new assets, kind of roaming around the place. The tracking and routing for those assets, it's much going to be like the same problems that a game. I don't know if anybody here has played Rust, but Rust, they had all the tracking messed up, so bears would phase through boulders and kill you, or they would phase through your base and kill you.
Horrifying.
And you would just be sitting there like doing something chill, and all of a sudden this bear just comes into your base.
That's
You're
horrifying.
like, oh god, everybody's panicking and shooting, and like, so that's what I think of as like, I know this in early development is going to be the most terrifying thing ever, because it's going to start phasing through crap and ships and all sorts of stuff and killing people, and I'm just waiting for it.
Yeah, I wonder what it's going to be like for their. I'm really curious about the fidelity of the hitboxes. I hate to use the F word, but like how will shooting a giant space crab, like how will that even work?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It's really going to
Really,
test
really.
it, that's for sure. I don't know.
I'm just going to ram it with my ship is what I'm going to do. And we're not going to have to worry about pad ramming, other players. It's going to be these aliens.
Well, that's another problem too, is like they're going to have to implement systems to prevent that from happening, I think. Or like, what's to stop you from loading up the Valkyrie with the giant minigun and just plowing through all of them from orbit? You know what I mean?
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
But I think that they're going to be okay with that environment. if they make it like they're trying to make the economy and other things, there's probably going to be a limited amount of species on each planet and during each, you know, intervals of time. So if you go through and you wipe out that species, on that planet, it could be hours, it could be days, if they do it that way, right? So I'm kind of interested to see how realistic they want to make it, because it could be like it could be like back in like the old Western times, the Great Buffalo runs,
Yeah, that's what I
and then
think about
buffaloes almost
herds.
went extinct.
Yeah, we're totally gonna make everything extinct. There's no doubt about it.
So I'm hoping they don't go too realistic, but it
Yeah.
would be really, really funny to see. It's like, we put this alien in the game. Oh, you guys wiped it out. It's extinct now. Good job.
Or like their hopes about escaping the prison, and they're like, oh, it's gonna take these guys so long to do it, and they're speed run in like 6 minutes now.
Yeah. 4 was the least that I've seen.
4? Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I think the fastest time was Captain why did I just blank out? There's so many captains.
It's true.
See, online would be able to answer this in the heartbeat right now in the chat, but
Who did the 4-minute run in
give me a second.
prison online?
Captain Burks.
Captain Burks. Oh, I see. I could see that.
Yeah, here, let's look.
I was gonna say Captain Underpants, but I'm
Yeah,
not
4
sure.
minutes 25 seconds is what he did it in.
Wow, that's crazy. GG.
4 minutes 25 seconds. That is the fastest run so far. But they're talking about making that actually because they want to have like multiple prison systems from my knowledge.
Yeah.
So it'll be a new experience every time you go to prison.
Interesting.
And then not only that, they were talking about adding in, once again adding in some of the aliens that would attack you while you're in there, and the only thing that you got is that mining tool to kill them. And there's going to be so many different things that are going to try to keep you from escaping if you watch that interview that they did with the guy who designed the caves. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the caves really messing people up. Captain Underpants. I'm
kind of excited for aliens, to be honest. Like I want to see just herds, like you said, hunting buffalo, hundreds and hundreds of them.
I did not hear herds there. I heard turds for a minute.
Oh, you heard
I was
turds.
Like, hundreds and hundreds of buffalo turds.
No buffalo turds. No. Because like there's you see these National Geographic videos and documentaries, and there's like these helicopter shots over the Sahara, and then you see all the animals like spread away. I think that'd be so cool in Star Citizen, man. You just do a cargo run. The Sahara biome in on Hurston. I can't remember where that is. Pinewood maybe, but that would just be wonderful to have some type of running animal or something like that.
Oh, dude, it'd be super cool. Yeah.
But that it was a Kickstarter goal to have pets. Hey, did you hear about that?
Having pets in SC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be super, super awesome.
I mean, that means that people are interested in doing it, right? Are you one of those people?
Oh, dude, I would totally have a pet, and I would totally like farming and all sorts of stuff. If that, if those become like big things, like that would be really, really cool.
I wonder if something like that.
I would think that would, and that's another thing. It's one of those features that would bring people from all these other different types of games.
That's
like my wife, for instance, like she's already expressed some small interest in SC, but if there were animals in the game that she could take care of and or feed, or if she had something available for her to take care of in the game, like she would totally friggin' like that would be her thing that she would want to do in the game.
Yeah, I hear people talk about shoot, what's the game called again? I keep thinking Farmville. It's not Farmville. Well, anyways, that farm game that's really popular right now. I just think I hear people talk about it and like take notes. It's like hopefully we see all this stuff in Star Citizen someday. Hopefully we have a turnip market that's just as dynamic.
You talking about the farm simulator?
No, the game that's super popular right now that everybody's playing. farming game? The one that
There's
your
so.
wife is playing on
Oh,
Nintendo.
yeah. Why did I just blank now on
Right?
that too?
Something wrong.
Uh, I was just talking about Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing. Thank you. Yes, that one. Well, that's what I mean. We take notes about the features that it has. Hopefully, we start seeing that in the future. I can't imagine what pets would be like, though, but you're right. They'll start pulling from other communities if that's the case.
It'd be really, really cool. But whether or not these servers could handle, there's just so many ifs, ands, or buts, because I would think that the best game to compare something like that to would be like Ark. And Ark, like, you got to think of how many assets they're pulling to get all those dinosaurs in that game, and to have all those on the same screen and stuff like that, and how much issues that it causes on one planet. So I'm really, really like curious to see how it's going to react with multiple planets. And I know that the meshing is probably going to obviously help a lot of that, to where there'll be different instances that you'll go into that'll spawn all your stuff in. So I'm kind of interested.
I was actually gonna say Heavy Bob, talk about Heavy Bob before he even talked. Because one of the reasons I really appreciate talking with uh Heavy Bob and like trolls more or less, but uh is my big concern is the servers, if the servers can handle it. And none of these guys seem to be complaining about the servers. They're talking about other stuff. So like every time, I always ask Heavy Bob, what about the servers? What about the servers? And he's like, oh, this, the servers should be able to take it. So I don't know. I guess I'm not worried about the servers. I think it's just a matter of time. You just got to keep the engineers at it, and eventually they'll get it.
Right. I just think we need to be definitely at this point in time. We definitely need to be at a level of stability.
Yeah.
At least some sort of stability to be able to properly test the game and not have as many server crashes, or at least have a system in place that if the server does crash, that all of your assets and everything like that are fine. But it's going to take some time before, it's going to take things like iCache and the meshing and stuff like that that's going to really come together with the server side object and container streaming. That's going to really bring the servers together. But yeah, I think that has been my biggest complaint, especially with 3.9. 3.9 has been a utter nightmare when it's come to 30Ks. Like, probably the worst that I've seen since I've started playing the game anyways.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned that with Morph as well when I was talking with him, because when I was interviewing Morph, it was the first time where I said the servers had gone down since 3.0. And he wasn't in disagreement of that. So I think you're 100% right when you say that. It's the worst they've been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that they sold more, in the midst of all that.
I know, right? You get all these new players,
Still just blows my mind, man. To think that people had that, despite all the glitches, they had that great of a new experience that were
Totally.
like, I could spend $40 on this.
Yeah. Yo, I talked to those a lot. I've been talking with a lot of those newer people, and I figure they're super jaded or angry or whatever, but no, they're just like, oh, this is cool. It's like, I guess maybe if you put them in a rough environment, you're setting their expectations. It's never going to be worse than this. So they're like, sweet, they'll take it when they can get it, I guess. They appreciate it.
Yep.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Fake news.
Fake news. The what else is featured in the ISC here? So they talked about the new Microtech retail outlet. I think that's pretty cool.
I'm wondering if they're going to bring out anything with that.
Yeah, well, what Morph was saying was the next version of MobiGlass. So like their building blocks UI, a great thing could be to have a 2.0 of MobiGlass that's using the building blocks.
So they're literally utilizing this as a release for new tech in the game, or new,
that would be cool, wouldn't it?
Visual thing. So it's like, it's more of an event than it is a upgrade, to the game. That's definitely next level thinking if that is what they do.
Well, I'm sorry to say it, but I really find that they do next level thinking. I always find that whenever they release something, I'm like, geez, I never thought about it that way before. So
yep,
something I appreciate about them, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It looks cool. Whatever's good. And then the last part of it here was the changes to the surface geometry, I guess, the height
Right.
map, and then
Right.
the
Right. Right.
what do you call these things? Just the derelicts, I suppose.
Yeah. All the ships that have been destroyed that are just laying around on the planet. Correct.
You know what this makes me wonder is like, do you remember watching the videos a couple years ago where there was like windmills and like I don't know habitations? Like people used to live out here. It looked like.
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing those? Where were those went?
Who knows? Who knows, man?
And then we get the race stuff. How do you feel about the race stuff?
I was hoping. So I'm guessing it's going to be out in space racing.
Yeah.
I was hoping that it was going to be like this rollerball arena where they, if it were me, if I were working on the game and there was some, if I had anything to do with this release, is I would have made this separate arena that would have been like a branch off of GrimHack. So it would have just been an entire separate thing. And it would have been like a rollerball arena, but instead they utilized that for the release of the Ranger. So then you're racing around in your Rangers in this map, but you can also kill or hurt each other or what have you. And that's what I was hoping they were going to be doing. And then I was very disappointed when I found out it was actually for ships. And I was like, crap.
Well, wait. I mean, I'm just looking at the screenshot now, and it's a scramble race on it. That's not a space race.
Right.
Could be ground base. I mean, it could be Rocket League. Maybe they're gonna make Rocket League. Is that what a scramble race is?
They're going to put they bought out Rocket League and they're going to put it in the game.
Yeah,
They're just going to replace all the models with Cyclones.
Well, no, man. Maybe it's like you said, it's gonna be the Rangers. That'd be
There
cool.
you go.
I don't know. It's all theory crafting, anyways. I'd love to see those Rangers in. I'm involved with Star Racing and DMR Rally and stuff like that. So
Right.
I would say racing is near and dear to my heart, or at least it occupies a lot of my time. And we're finding these racetracks all over the verse. Did you know that there's like a racetrack just behind the Hurston Dynamics building in Lorville?
Yeah.
You knew about that.
Yeah.
So maybe
Mhm.
there's more of them that we don't even know about.
Dude, what's crazy to me is to think that there is potentially another jump town out there that no one's discovered. That's what's crazy to me.
I heard that rumor before, yeah.
To think that there is an asset out there that we just have not ran along just yet. Because how long was Jumptown out before somebody discovered it? Like, has that information actually been divulged?
No, but it was pretty early. Well, here's the thing. It was probably okay. So when we didn't have that before 3.0, I think it was like 3.1. It would have only been a patch, so 3 months potentially that we didn't know about it. I would say.
So somebody was actually exploring around with a group and then was like, "Oh, hey, wonder what this building is," and then walked in and then found out that it was all this crazy, like, commodity that you could sell. That to me is like really, really cool.
People are crazy. Gamers are crazy.
It could have been a data mine thing. You're correct.
That's true.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
I know that.
So you wouldn't have to actually physically go out there and check stuff. You could just check the code.
I know eventually like the missions started going there. I don't know if that was like 3.3, 3.4, but eventually the mission started going out there.
Right. They just did not expect it to become a big thing.
It's true. I know, right? Well, now it's like people are so attached to it. It's like, oh, back in the Jumptown days, like it's an era in Star Citizen history now.
It was definitely good times, man. I knew that back. I jumped right in when all the fun stuff was happening.
Totally. Good for you. Very smart.
Yeah, it was just really different, like, in how it is comparison to now is that I remember like I would get on and it would be Friday night, and I have like all night that I can sit and play games, and we'd all load up and freaking just literally we would all drop in at Jumptown and just go in and take over Jumptown and then like fight off anybody and everybody that tried to come through and like kill us. That was so freaking much fun, man. So much fun. And we kind of had a little bit of that with the Tram and Myers run, but then people started laying off of it. And I don't know why, because it's still a super profitable route. I'm surprised. I think so. I think prisons killed pirates.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
I think that is exactly what happened. So now instead of doing that, we're just doing bounty hunting. And so it's like, wow, like, yeah, that's probably why there's no action. So I answered my own question there. But it's just crazy to think that, yeah, last patch, 3.8, it was very dangerous to go out to Tram Myers because it was becoming Jump Town 2.0.
Yeah.
And now it's not.
Well, I mean, good for the engineers at CIG. You know, they did it right because that's what they wanted to do, right? It's the mission
To
accomplished.
lessen the amount of crime?
Yeah, or at least
Yeah.
regulate it.
Regulate it to some degree, which they're going to find ways to nerf and fix it.
Well, then they'll
where
just
it'll be a
implement new
little more,
features.
yeah,
Whatever.
which will be a little more bearable. But right now, that's obviously 3.9. That was the testing focus, like through and through.
Yeah. Yeah, the asteroid belt racetrack, Heavy Bob. Yeah, I don't. I have opinions about that racetrack, but I would like to talk to you about that off stream.
Sorry, guys, fun not allowed.
Yeah, I know, right? So, tell me a bit about your Elite Dangerous experience.
I haven't played it yet.
Well,
You
bought it.
That's why you were saying you were gonna before the stream started, and I mentioned that I had just purchased it. Yeah, I literally just purchased it, so I've not even touched the game yet.
Not
The whole
even
reason,
touched it.
yeah, the whole reason why I purchased that game is because of the new update that's going to be coming out next year, and I want to get ahead of the game and get caught up on all the content that's currently available on it. Because I think it's going to be a great competitor for SC. I really do. If they implement in a good FPS system, it's going to be a great competitor for SC. But maybe it won't be. Who knows? It could completely bomb.
I was I was watching one of Maddie's streams, and you were talking about your schedule that you have for being a full-time streamer. So you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I schedule my workout this time, my meals are at this time.
Okay.
But like, what about what games you play? You like, oh, well, this is 7 p.m. is time for Call of Duty, and what is it like? 10 p.m. is going to be for Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, so Elite Dangerous, like I said, I purchased it as a back pocket game. Right now, like I said, I am checking out Space Engineers. Been playing a lot of it on the side outside of SC. Whenever SC is having issues or I want to hop onto another game, and then I do have like my fun game that I throw on. But yes, I do schedule it in every week. Kind of what I am looking to do currently. So I'm working on a lot. Like I said, within the past year, it was kind of a major challenge for me, especially branching into full-time streaming, and dealing with new stresses that I've never like experienced before. Like being my own boss and of course keeping myself on task. I've also been working on all the branding, the new facelift to the stream that I've mentioned, and then staying organized with my Twitch streams and creating YouTube content on to up my discoverability as a content creator. So with my Twitch, the way that I have everything kind of set out, my future plans is that I'm going to have everything a lot more organized with my Star Citizen content. So starting out next week, I'm every Monday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central. We're going to be doing trade caravans, which, as you've noticed, I've been naming my streams that and stuff like that. And I've been trying to get as many people involved. And with that, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have people in the community help me run cargo on all of my ships, and then, or I'm going to loan them the money, to run cargo off of their ships. And those people will clock in like they would with a job. And then I'll be logging all those times on like a spreadsheet or something until I find, some way of automating it, obviously. And then from the top down, round robin, I'm going to pay each one of those people so that they can buy, they can take their individual cut and they can buy in-game ships or outfit their favorite ship. And so on top of all that, I want to provide trade route security. So we'll have people stationed at each place that we're planning on doing to keep, away any potential pirates that may come in. And I I just think that this is a new way to utilize content in game and provide community members within the Star Citizen community with not only content, but as well as allow them to, buy ships that they wouldn't necessarily be able to buy, or, afford otherwise. Because there's obviously a lot of ships available outside of a, select few that you can buy in game right now. And with the current way that they have it set up and it's working, and we haven't had to do any wipes lately, which is freaking awesome. You can literally take from patch to patch to patch all the ships that you've bought in game outside of the glitches that happen and so on and so forth. So obviously this heavily relies on server stability, and we would need to backpedal into PvE missions or something like that if the server stability was crap. But that's kind of one of the new things that I'm starting to schedule out with my stream starting next week, because I'm having a lot of fun doing that. And then to be able to provide somebody, an actual physical thing in game versus having to pay my own money or someone else having to pay their own money, they'll actually get a reward or a payment of some sort for being involved in what I'm trying to do in the game. And so we're trying to build something different, and I'm really, really excited about that. And then on Fridays, I actually want to, at 10 a.m. Central as well, I want to kind of bring everybody back in and try and do those PvP operations, where we'll gather, willing members of the community together to kind of like duke it out, with everyone in an organized, planned out sort of mission. And we're obviously going to need security for that, and we're going to need to have the comm arrays down, so everybody just won't go to jail after trying to kill each other out of fun. So yeah, it's going to be definitely a really, 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 really like fun time if everything starts to level out, especially with us coming into 3.10. Hopefully they'll fix a lot of the bugs, but I think a mixture of all these things will really kind of bring in some much needed fun to the verse in the midst of all the like major content drought that we've kind of faced here recently.
Yeah, I agree.
I know that was a mouthful, man.
Hey, you know that I do that on my stream as well. The whole paying people, and we do the cargo runs. They fly my cats.
Right.
You know, I use spreadsheets for that right now. Were you aware of that?
No, I didn't.
I'm gonna show you that off stream. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll have to coordinate our runs and make sure that we're not buying each other's commodities because we stream at the same time. So we'll have to do.
Or we could just coordinate it to where we're running it together, or this group's running this commodity while the other group's running it. Yeah,
that's
that would
what
be
I
great.
mean. Well, we don't want to step on each other's toes, right? So.
Oh, we already do. I know. I know when I go and I run Laranite or Titanium, if it's empty, it's more than likely it's because of you.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's Jorgen from WRL. That's who's doing it. If you're out there.
Oh, really? Wow.
No, it's not me. I don't. It's been honestly, like I think you've been describing this, the trade game that you're bringing on your stream, and I started doing that in like October of last year, and it was easy, but then it got really hard because it's hard to get people on board. I think you'll have more luck than I did, to be honest. I always.
I think the cool thing about it is getting people involved, like I said, and just being like, hey, like what do you own in game? Like what ships do you own? Oh, you don't have a giant like trade ship, so you're not able to make money fast. Well, why don't you put a couple hours into my stream every week, and then eventually I'll be able to pay you out so that you can get all this money and a lot easier than what you would have, otherwise. So I think it'll be really, really cool. I also want to do like some other like mixed content on YouTube where we can show people how to kind of like how Astropub does the 0 to hero. I kind of want to do something similar to that in the sense of the, $0 upwards of, tons and tons of money. So you start out with a small ship like the Aurora, and you work your way up all the way to a Cutlass Black, and then you go from the Cutlass Black all the way up to a Caterpillar, and then you could take that Caterpillar and literally make any money that you need to for whatever ship that that you want in game. And so that's kind of the content that I want to be able to provide. But I think that that's exciting for everybody. Is it's like now you can actually buy ships in game that are, worth a crap, and then you can outfit them and do all sorts of stuff. So it gives them a goal versus not having anything to do, Um, and I think that's why it's even more so important that they start implementing in colors, and paint jobs, for the ships, because that's just an extra added layer to that customization and that capability to grind out everything.
Yeah, totally. What was your? Have you bought a ship yet in game?
Yeah, I actually bought a caterpillar.
Caterpillar, very nice.
Yeah,
Was
we
that
we
your first
want we
ship?
did it. I think it was a little over a month ago, about a month and a half. We decided we were going to buy another cat so that we could run more cargo, and we did it, and we got the 4 mil for it and paid for it, and it's still in my fleet right now. It's been awesome.
That was your first ship purchase? Was that Caterpillar?
In-game ship purchase?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's cool.
Because I want to make more money.
Of course, yeah.
So that 4 million for that ship is going to provide me billions,
Billions.
So that's the way I look at it, so
They should do something special about the first ship that we purchased in game. Like we should get some type of badge with it on our account. I don't know.
right. Yeah, that would definitely be cool.
I want to be able to remember that.
But I had a blast. I had a blast doing that, and that's why it's going to be even more exciting to be able to do. And honestly, I don't know why more people don't utilize that, right? Because instead of having to spend money on in-game ships, or actual real money to have in-game ships, to do like for giveaways, what have you, get your community involved and be able to actually pay them in game, right? So you could literally be like, hey, I'm going to be giving away today. I'm going to be giving away a saber. And then, then you're like, here you go. And you just give it to them in game. That to me is definitely a lot cooler. I think that's got a lot more weight behind it than, oh, here's the ship that I spent money on, because here's the ship that you got to hang out with us and be a part of the stream. And, here's the ship that we worked hard to be able to provide you as a community member. So I think that it's definitely new ways to kind of utilize those systems versus actually spending money.
Yeah, and kind of enhancing your maybe Twitch experience as well, I think.
Right.
Right. Star Citizen. I bet a guy on my stream this morning 2 million credits or 1 million credits that the Caterpillar will be faster than the C2.
The C2 Hercules?
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe it.
You believe it? Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah. Definitely believe it.
Should be, don't you think?
Do you think the C2 is going to be utilized as a trade ship?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's got like 600 SEU or something like that.
Yeah. I to be honest with you, I may be tempted to get rid of a Caterpillar or two for 100%.
It. Yeah, I will. I definitely will. I'll keep my orange fluffy cap, but I'll get rid of the other ones, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. I think that like it looks nice and slim. People think it's fast, but atmosphere I think is gonna be its strength. Maybe. We'll have to see how it goes. Roadmap was interesting today. I don't know if you saw it yet.
No, I haven't gotten a chance to look at it.
I thought there was something interesting, or at least discussion worthy, is the fact that they pulled the mission giver off of the roadmap.
I was like, for 3.10?
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me though.
Really?
All the same, right?
By that. Huh.
It didn't seem like. Remember Twitch Pachico or whatever her name was for ArcCorp, and how big of a deal they made for this person. They weren't making a big deal out of them. So it doesn't surprise me at all.
I just figure, it's an NPC. How hard could it be? Like, I saw Twitch twice.
Did they push it to 3.11?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. At least in my opinion, it makes sense.
How hard is it to make an NPC?
You got me, man. I mean, maybe they had some sort of majorly like dynamic mission to go along with it.
That must be it, hey? Some crazy mission.
Yep. That's the only thing that I can think of, is that there was some sort of crazy dynamic mission that they weren't able to get to work right with that NPC. So they just pulled it off. Because I mean, really, if you thought about it, the Twitch mission was actually kind of next level, because it actually spawns you a cutlass that you had to take out and fly to the drug lab, and then you made the choice of whether or not you would take those drugs or you would destroy them. So there was all these different, things that they were experimenting with. So I was kind of curious to see what they were going to do with this new NPC, and they never really talked about it. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all.
I just remember Twitch's hair. Remember her original hair concepts? Those are beautiful.
Right.
I'd
Yeah.
like to see those again someday.
Mm-hmm.
Soon TM. Yeah,
You just want her to be your SC girlfriend.
You
let's
know
be
it.
honest.
You know it.
Her and her cyborg eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're at 2 hours and 5 minutes now, and you didn't want to go over 2, so I think we should wrap that up there if you're cool with that. How do you feel?
Yeah. No, definitely, man.
Is there anything like you want to plug the history of the future? Any last words, I guess?
No, I pretty much actually covered it all because I was expecting you to directly ask me, so I just kind of went off into that tangent there at the end, and that was all my like future things that I was working on. So yeah, you pretty much covered it all. Everything that's going to be going on with the stream in the future.
That's cool. Do you want to go out talking with our distorted voices? What voices do you have and use? Do you have like names for your voices?
Dude, I got so many.
Do you really? How many do you actually have?
Well, I got the Roland VT4, so I can literally there's hundreds. So it's just I haven't figured it out yet because I haven't had too much time to play with it. I'll play with it every now and then on stream. But I mean, there's just so many. Like, so I got my base Yamaha MG10XU, which is the one that I usually use for my follower alert. I got a pedal that's plugged into it. That's why you usually, like, when you hear this voice, it happens by accident because I accidentally bumped my foot on that. But I got a pedal plugged into, it's like a piano pedal that Yamaha makes. And I got it plugged into the MG10XU, and it triggers any of my effects. And then the Roland, sadly enough, this Roland that I own does not have a pedal. The Roland that online actually owns does have a pedal that you can utilize, but I actually had to physically press the bypass switch so that I can do all sorts of crazy stuff.
You know what I mean?
So, and that's not even the crazy. Like there's harmonies on here. There's a vocoder on here. There's robot voice megaphones. There's a auto tune, and then there's different combinations of all these different sounds within that you can also do on top of it. I mean, there's the General Kenobi.
That's good.
Yeah, there's just all sorts of like random things that I can do with the voices in this. So
I'm still kind of playing with mine.
This is my Kylo Ren voice, so every time someone comes into my channel and they call me Kylo Ren, I will speak to them in this voice, and I would say, Kylo, I am Kylo Ren.
And that's about
you
it.
sound just like him too,
good,
which
right?
makes it even funnier.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not good at marketing and all this stuff, but like I got 3 different variations of Apollo like mission control sounds. So I got like because I was like listening to the actual recordings and I was trying to emulate them with the Go XLR. So I got like one for mission control, I got one for the astronauts, then I got one for the public affairs officer. So 3 different voices I think with that. And then I have like 12 different types of static.
Oh God.
I have no idea what I'm gonna do, but I'm doing something.
Yeah, the Go XLR definitely has quite a few cool little sound effects that they got on theirs.
I think that if they were to see how I'm using it right now, they'd probably have a heart attack because I have different types of static.
It's really, really kind of crazy all the technology that's in that thing. I want them to come out with a new version. I have held off on getting one because I went to TwitchCon and I didn't like how cheap the knobs felt on it, and that's the thing that actually turned me off from buying it. And so I'm hoping that they come out with something that's actual better, like more, I don't know, just stable. knobs and stuff like that. Like just a better, I mean, if you're going to do plastic, at least do a higher end plastic, because I feel like on that thing, I'm going to rip the knobs off on it. Granted, you're not technically supposed to touch the knobs
Yeah,
after
I
you
was just
set them
thinking
on
I'm
that
never
thing.
gonna touch them.
Yeah, technically, but I want to see their second version, because they're going to come out with the model up and so on and so forth, and fix all the problems from the previous model. And so I'm looking forward to see what they put out next.
Cool.
Because I'm really excited to eventually switch to a wireless headset so I can use that optical out on the on that thing.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Hey, I'm in the market for a headset right now, so I might have to ask you about that.
Wireless headset, I would definitely get the SteelSeries Pro Edition, but that thing it's expensive, but it comes with 2 extra batteries, and like I said, it's got the optical out on it. So, but I think it's about $300 is what it is.
I need something white. It's got to come in white.
Oh, it's white. Yep,
Okay.
they got a white one.
That's the only requirement.
See, and they got a white one, man. That would be the one that I would recommend. It's just a good all around headset, and then I think it's really, really cool that you can actually plug that directly into that mixer, so that you're hearing your mix live versus not. So
That is pretty cool. Yeah, I have lots to learn about that. This is my first broadcast using this new outfit, so that's
Yeah.
it. And that's
looks good, man.
yeah. Well, thanks, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for taking all this time with us today and talking with us. Talking with Kylo, I appreciate it.
And yeah, I'll be back here again next week. I'm going to be talking with Nubifier. I won't be using any type of voice distortion. It's just for the sake of spazzy.
Yeah.
And thanks to everybody who watched. This is going to be on YouTube by tomorrow. So
yeah, awesome. Thank you for having me on, man. It's definitely a pleasure, and I was just excited to have the opportunity to finally be able to get on here and do this show with you. So
yeah, man. Well, you're great to have on. All right. Have a good night, everybody.